Please enter your code by touching the corresponding buttons.
What?
Touch enter when finished.
1004.
Please. Thank you. Please pull
You're welcome.
slowly into the wash.
Whatever, dude. Ooh, pretty. Now you might be wondering why I'm starting the video with a car wash, but I parked my car outside, and if you only saw the size of the birds that fly above my car and bastardize my poor Civic, you wouldn't wonder anymore. I swear there's like whole chickens flying above my house and just dropping bombs the size of like baseballs. It's heartbreaking, to say the least. Absolutely heartbreaking. Well, hello, my dear viewers. Well, Jesus. Hey, how's it going? MockALove here. This is my 2013 Civic SI. That's a plane. Hello. Welcome to Canada. Anyways, this is my 2013 Civic SI. And I've owned this car for about a little under a year and a half now, and I think I'm qualified enough to tell you about why I love this car and why, if you're looking for one and you only have one car and you're looking to buy only one car, this is the car to have. Now, you've probably seen already millions upon hundreds upon thousands of videos about Civic SIs and why they're great and why this is the car to have if you're looking for front-wheel drive, coupe or sedan, manual, transmission, good engines, reliable, easy to find parts, modifiable, and everything. Now, is that true? Yes, absolutely, it is true. And I'm gonna tell you why I love this car particularly. Now, this is the last year of their squinty, the squinty headlight look. In 2013, they changed it, they modernized it a little bit. And in 2016 actually, it basically became a whole different generation. Now, why do I think you need to buy this one in particular and not the 2016 one? Even if you have the money, I'll tell you why. Come, under the hood, right here, come over here. Now, this right here is exactly why you want to buy this generation, not the next generation, because the next generation came with a, I think it's 1.6 or 1.5 turbo engines, and this is the last generation that had the 2.4 double overhead cam VTEC engines, naturally aspirated glory, baby, 200 horsepower, baby screamer, and the reliability is unmatched, and the tuning potential is incredible. The support for Civics is fantastic. The aftermarket support, you can find anything on the market. The only modification I have done to this engine so far is just the cold air intake, and it just livens it up a little, lets it breathe a little easier, and just the throttle response is a little more happy. It's a little more trigger happy. It sounds a little nicer. It revs a little quicker. It's just an overall a happier engine with a cold air intake. So honestly, if you're looking for a first modification to do, especially on a Civic, this would be right there. Not the exhaust, this right here. This will make it sound nicer, drive faster, it'll be quicker, it'll be a little peppier, a little more responsive. And honestly, if you're looking for daily drivability, this is the only thing that I would do to it. I wouldn't upgrade anything else to keep it as reliable as possible. And my absolute favorite thing about this car right now is this exhaust. Check this out. As far as the interior goes, this baby has pretty much everything you would need out of a daily driver. And if you need more, then, well, you probably either have children or you're just a little spoiled little piece of shit. The obvious issue with a two-door coupe is obviously the rear seats and the access to the rear seats. However, yes, it might look a little small. However, I did drive 5 people, 3 people in the back, for what, 2.5, 3 hours, and they were perfectly comfortable. So while it does look pretty small, the Coupe, Civic Coupe is not actually that much shorter than a sedan. So, and what it compensates with is these giant ass, long ass fucking doors. That brings me to the second issue. These doors are massive. These doors are so long, and if you're in a tight parking spot, be very careful. Very careful. They're long. They are, I don't know, probably 1.5 times the length of a Civic Si sedan door. So be very mindful of that. But since this is the second coupe I've owned, you get used to it. You know, you get used to it, and you get used to the folding the front seats to get people in the back. You get used to all of those things, and it's not that big of a deal anymore to me. Now, if you can get over the giant doors and the pretty cumbersome operation of getting into the back seat, this makes for a very comfortable daily driver. Comfortable, spacious, and fun, right? Now, with the exhaust that I had done to it and the intake, this is a perfect daily driver. It sounds great, it drives great, it's fun, but also comfortable and pretty quiet when you need it. And honestly, it has all the creature comforts that you might want out of a daily driver. Okay, now let's start this baby up. Oh, can't reach. Seat is all the way back. Short king problems. Now this is the view behind the wheel of the Civic Si. You got this beautiful, beautiful, exquisite, absolutely genuine and real carbon fiber trim. You have the screen, you got the navigation. Oh, we got a plane over there. That's a beautiful spot. You got the audio, you have the Bluetooth, the climate control, beautiful, beautiful, luscious AC. I missed you, baby. And I've heard from some people that the interior of a Civic looks like a spaceship because you have how many screens? You got 1, you got 2, you got 3, you got 4, and you got your tachometer. And you have this screen as well. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screens plus the tachometer. Now, it might seem a little confusing, it might seem a little cumbersome. However, when you start using it, it's very intuitive and very simple to use. Now, for example, this is the VTEC screen. So this is the screen that will, it has shift-in lights, and it will tell you when the VTEC is engaged. This is speedometer, this is the gas right there, and it shows you also if any indicators, if there's any messages from the computer. The current message is low washer fluid, and that I have to talk about that, and I will get into that in just a second. This is the screen where you can see with the click of this button right here on the steering wheel, you get to see your Bluetooth connections, your audio. You will see the message, which is the low washer fluid. You will see your range, you'll see your mileage, odometer, time, and the temperature outside. And also you will see a low washer fluid, yeah, okay. Now this is the power monitor, so as I'm revving it up, it's moving right now, and it will move accordingly, allegedly showing you how much power the car is putting out at a specific moment. Now, low washer fluid, okay, and blank screen, we have the clock, and that's basically it. Now let's look at the infotainment screen. So we have the audio. This will show you the song, whatever's playing, and what device is connected. You have your FM radio, you have your CD, and you also have your navigation. How do I turn it off? Shut up! You have the volume button, and this is to play around. Yes, exactly, play around with the navigation because it's kind of trash, so I don't think you want to use it much. Just use your phone. You have Google Maps. It's 2020 outside, you know? And you got the info button that shows you the trip computer. It's also touchscreen, by the way, so we can have the clock. Perfect. Actually, to be honest, I've never used this before. Info, huh? You have system device information, US, Canada. You got the setup of the screen, you can change the brightness, and that's basically it. And then you have your phone. No phone's connected, but that's okay. Obviously, you can connect your phone through the Bluetooth and you can answer calls. You can even answer calls on your steering wheel. There's buttons right here. This is to pick up the call. This is to hang up. This is the voice commands. I never really use the voice commands. It's got the cruise control. These buttons regulate anything on that screen right there, and change the songs if you want to. And obviously you can go into menu and see the odometer and all the settings, all the vehicle menus and such. And that's basically everything about the screens. Now, let me show you around the interior. Obviously, 6-speed manual, beautiful, notchy, fantastic shifter, fantastic gearbox, a pure joy to drive. Let me show you all the garbage compartments that you can use for storage of the things that you will never use again, or the things that you have consumed a long time ago. There's one right there in the door. This one you can use for some Starbucks wrappers, for some old cologne bottle, for some lip gloss, anything you want. This one I usually use for masks and oftentimes for coins or any sort of business cards. In here, I'm not exactly sure what the thing is called, but you can connect either your cigarette lighter, or I usually connect my cords, and you have the aux cable right there. Heated seats, low and high for both the front passengers. 3 pedals, of course, beautiful. Another storage compartment for trash. Here, you know, it's the standard Civic stuff. You can regulate the angle of the wind mirrors. And as far as this button, this is probably one of my favorite buttons in the whole car. This is the traction control off button. You just hold it, beep, and it's off. Beautiful. As far as the back seats, it is definitely a lot more spacious than you might think it is. I know it doesn't look like much, but as I already mentioned, I have fit 5 people in this car comfortably. You got the panoramic roof. You can open it up right there. Overall, I'm a big fan of the interior. It's not particularly flashy. It's not particularly luxurious. You know, it's none of those things, but it's nice, functional, cloth seats. So you don't actually need the cooled seats. If you only have cloth seats, you have the heated seats for winter. It's a good winter driver, and that's about it. You got a spacious glove compartment. You have a compartment over here. Again, you can fit more trash in there. You have 2 cup holders. Comfortably fits a 473 milliliter bottle of hand sanitizer, and will fit actually anything. I will show you. It will even fit the water bottle. Now, I wouldn't want to fit anything too tall in the first cup holder, and it doesn't particularly interfere with the shifting as much. Now, let's go in the trunk. Now, in the trunk, you can keep even more trash. Now, I have like this very goofy organizer that I really love, honestly, and the trunk space is very, very adequate. Now, you have to keep in mind that this organizer is pretty big and it occupies a hell of a lot of space. So the trunk is actually surprisingly spacious for a coupe. Honestly, I don't think you'd need anything else. And if your child gets trapped in there, wait, that's a different one. That's the faultless seats from the back. Oh, there it is right there. So your child will be able to get out, whether you want it or not. Now let's talk about why you're really here. And you are here to know how it drives. And let me tell you, it drives great. It drives absolutely awesome. Now, it has just enough power to be fast enough in the city. It's a great city driver. Well, if you can bear the manual transmission, but it's a great city driver. It's beautiful in twisties, it's beautiful in the bends, it's fun, it's just big enough. It's just large enough to carry 5 people in it, mainly comfortably. It has that 2.4 liter, 200 horsepower engine. The VTEC kicks in at 5,000 RPM, so that's always fun. Great gearbox. VTEC! Continue! Ah! Ah! Woo! I probably should not be driving like this on this road. But yes, that's what it does to you guys. That's what it does to you. That's the kind of emotion that it puts on your face. And if this is your only vehicle, you cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong, especially in Canada. You know, we have mad winters and mad snow in winter. So you just slap a good set of winter tires on this bad boy and you will be fine. I almost got stuck once, but it clawed itself out. Just did a lot of this and just a bah, 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 and it clawed itself out. You turn off the traction control and you'll be good in the snow. Now the traction control helps in the snow if you don't know what you're doing, and if you're not as experienced of a driver, but I prefer it off just because I feel more in control, and I feel like the car is more responsive, and I feel like anything that I do will translate into the movement of the car, and there are no surprises. Whereas with traction control, it will slow down the wheels if it senses the slip, that the wheels start to slide. It will slow it down, and it's not very predictable to me. I don't want that. Like if I'm mashing the gas pedal, I want the wheels to be spinning. I want the wheels to do exactly what I want them to do, right? And that's what happens with the traction control off. And it's, as I already showed you, it's very easy to turn off with just this button. Hold it for a second, beep, and it's off. Hi, cops. And as far as the exhaust, so I want to talk about the exhaust because in stock exhaust, this car doesn't sound like much. The car just sounds like a regular Civic, and it's nothing spectacular. And it's great if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for a comfortable daily driver, that's exactly what you will need. However, let me tell you my story with exhaust that is on this car currently. It's not just a bolt-on exhaust. Well, it is, but after I installed it, my life kind of became very miserable, and I entered a world of pain. Now, the exhaust that is on the car, that's a Yonaka Motorsports catback exhaust. And as soon as I installed it, it sounded so good from the outside. What is this man doing? Where was I? Yes, the exhaust. As soon as I installed it, just a bolt-on, I basically entered a world of pain. It was miserable. 10 minutes into driving it, the drone was so bad I could feel my teeth vibrate in my skull. I would start to get very bad migraines 10 minutes into driving the fucking vehicle. Yes, low washer fluid, I know that. Yes, thank you for reminding me to talk about you little shit. It got to the point that I did not enjoy driving my vehicle anymore. And that's not what you want. That is the opposite of what you want from the exhaust. I'm of the mindset that I don't care what it sounds like to you, I care what it sounds like to me. I'm the one paying the money, I'm the one driving it every day, I'm the one cashing this thing out. I want it to be as enjoyable as possible on the inside of the vehicle. And usually, if it's enjoyable on the inside, it's just as enjoyable on the outside. Now, what happened next? I was really considering taking it off, putting the stock exhaust back, and just let it be like that. But my mechanic, you know, I love my mechanic. He's the best dude in the world, and he is the most honest mechanic out there. And he really wanted to help me, really wanted to support me. And he was like, man, listen, brother, let me try to help you. Let's try to put a silencer in. Go on Amazon, get a $30 silencer, and let's try to install it and see what happens. And I went on Amazon. I bought, I think it was like a 25 to 30 bucks silencer, basically just a stainless steel silencer, just a tube with a narrow opening, and he welded it in, and the difference was incredible. I absolutely love the way this car sounds now. Now it sounds so meaty, it sounds so angry, it sounds perfect. It is pleasant to be in, it's quiet when you want it to be quiet, fairly quiet, let's not, don't get it twisted, but it's fairly quiet. It's quiet enough for me to comfortably drive this vehicle. And the silencer, what it did, it it made the opening of the pipe, it made the opening of the exhaust narrower and smaller by 1 inch. So it's a 3-inch exhaust, it narrowed it by 1 inch, so it was a 2-inch exhaust, it was a 2-inch opening at the end of a 3-inch exhaust. And what that did is it decreased the bass, it decreased the bassiness of the exhaust, and it just made everything so much more enjoyable. It decreased the drone significantly. I don't get headaches now after driving this vehicle. I enjoy it. I actually enjoy it. And it's quiet when you want it to be quiet. And it sounds fantastic on the outside. It sounds so good. And we hit traffic. Now, how is it in traffic? Not bad at all. I mean, you know, you get frustrated with stop and go traffic and constant, you know, clutch in, clutch out, and feathering it back and forth. And I remember hating it so much, so much for the first couple months, 3 months maybe, and I deeply regretted buying a manual car, as this is my very first manual car. I deeply regretted buying a manual car in stop and go Toronto traffic. What happened was, well, you just get used to it. It becomes second nature, and this is just what you know. At this point, this is what I know. This is what I've been driving for a year and a half, almost a year and a half now, and this is what I know, and this is what I'm comfortable with now. And let me tell you about this, God, keep it cool. Let me tell you about this goddamn computer that gives you the notifications. Now, okay, I love so many things about this car. This is one of those things that still drives me up the wall. It drives me nuts. This goddamn thing. So, on the computer on the right, it usually will show you 2 messages that you will see very commonly. You will see low gas. It will be like a bloop, and it will say low gas, which I'm perfectly fine with. Okay, that's important. I want to know that. And then the second one will be the low windshield washer fluid. So it will go low windshield washer fluid. When 2 of them pop up at the same time, when you have 2 of them, which one do you think would be the priority? The low gas that could have you, you know, stalled on the highway, damage your engine, or low windshield washer fluid? Wrong. Low windshield washer fluid. It will take priority over the low gas, and as I'm driving and I'm trying to see how much range I have, I'm trying to see how much gas I have left. Or if I forgot that I have low gas, I want it to remind me a little more. No. You'll be driving somewhere on the highway, and that low windshield washer fluid, I swear to God, every 10 minutes, low windshield washer fluid. So you turn it off. You dismiss it. You press the button. And then 10 minutes later, again, low windshield washer fluid. And it's blocking everything else that is on the screen. I cannot see my range. I cannot see my audio. I can't see anything. And it'll just go, low windshield washer fluid, bitch. Top it up. You really want to top up your windshield washer fluid in this car, because it will drive you to a mental institution, because this is definitely the most frustrating thing I've ever experienced in a car. It might not seem like a big deal at first, but when it consistently happens, and when you drive this car a lot, and that's the only thing you will be seeing, it will scar you. It will traumatize you. You might have nightmares about it, and you will be rage smashing that button to basically, like, piss off. It's raining outside. But that's how it goes. That's one of the quirks, as Doug DeMuro says, of this car. It's a very conventional car overall. Everything you would expect out of this car, everything you would expect out of a Honda, the reliability and everything is there. Everything is comfortable and convenient. The ergonomics are great. Let me give you a little tip as well. When you go to the range screen, when you go to the fuel consumption screen, it will give you the range. Now, what I've noticed by pushing the limits and by being, the bad boy that I am, what I've noticed, when the range shows 0, you still have, in my experience, if you're driving, say on the highway, you're driving normally, you're not beating the snot out of the car, and it's showing 0, you'll still have about, give or take, 30 to 50 kilometers of range. If you're driving home and you work far from home, the way I do, I work about 50 kilometers away from home, and you're wondering if you're gonna make it. As soon as it hits 0, you still have, I want to say, solid 30 kilometers of range. Now, I'm not responsible for you stalling on the highway. Now, that's just a life hack from MockALove, okay? The other thing that I dislike about this car, and I think it's one of the things that might put you off at first when you start driving it, is the Rev-Hang. It's the Rev-Hang when you're shifting gears. So, like, for example, when you, let's put it into fifth. I'm currently into fifth on the highway, and then as I go to change the gear, there's about a 1 second delay in the revs dropping. So I'll press in the clutch all the way in, and there's 1 second delay, and then it starts dropping. You'll see it right now. So clutch in, delay, now shift. Right? You can't really bang it through the gears like that. You have to be careful. You can shift it with your hand quick. You can actually put it into gear fast or downshift fast, but if you're trying to smoothly, without destroying your transmission or clutch, smoothly upshift, you can't really do it that fast. You have to feather the clutch a little more. You know, you can't bang through the gears like you could in a Miata, for example, right? In a Miata, as soon as you're pressing the clutch, the revs just stop dropping right away, and you can just bang through all of them. It takes a little bit of getting used to, and I think the Rev-Hang is there for probably just to protect the clutch and to make it easier to drive. This car is very easy to drive as far as manual transmissions go. Very easy to drive smoothly, very easy to drive comfortably, and I think that's why it was implemented with that in mind, just the comfort. And if you're an inexperienced driver, you will have a much easier time shifting smoothly and driving the car smoothly. Now here's when the story of the Civic gets a little sad. Today I am selling my Civic and I'm picking up another car. Now, after everything that I've said about it being a perfect daily driver and how great it is and how much I love the car, and I have very strong sentimental attachment to the car as well. This is my very first manual vehicle. It's the very first manual car that I've owned. It's my second car overall that I've owned. And this is the car that I learned to drive manual in. This is the car that when I tried to drive it off the lot, driving off the Toyota dealership lot, I stole it right before getting on the road. This is the car that basically taught me how to drive manual. And this is the car that I have my first manual driving memories in. This is the car that I would take out at night, you know, just to practice my downshifting skills, just to practice my manual skills for the first few months of driving it. This is the car that was my very first very engaging driving experience, and I love it. I love this car. I love this car very much, and I'm very sad to see it go. I'm heartbroken to see it go. So I'm actually on the way to pick up the new car and to trade this one in and say goodbye to my baby. And my camera died on the way home, so we're gonna have to start over. I was talking about why I'm selling the car. So the reason I'm selling this vehicle, even after me talking about all about how fantastic it is, how fun it is to drive, and how pleasant it is as a daily driver, and how it's fun, comfortable, and very livable with, and good, and it's decently good in the snow. But the situation that I have now is that I have two cars, I'm on two vehicles, and my second vehicle is basically the golden child of enthusiast sports cars. So my second car is the 2005 Mazda Speed Miata, and I'm sure you've seen it in other videos, and I absolutely love that car, and it's the quintessential driving experience. Rear-wheel drive, front engine, light, tossable, turbo, 1.8 liter. It's top down, it's absolutely fantastic. I love that car. And now I'm facing a dilemma of having two enthusiast cars, and this car, it's not particularly practical if you're looking to carry too many people, or if you're looking to carry any cargo. It's not that practical. For example, I was trying to fit a 55-inch TV in it, and that was the dumbest thing I could have tried. Naturally, it didn't work, and I was kind of stranded there, calling my mom. They're like, "Yo, Mom, I need your TV. Please come pick it up." Half an hour later, she showed up and she helped me, and it's not particularly practical. So at this point, I feel like it makes more sense for me to have an enthusiast vehicle and have a daily driver that's, a little more comfortable, a little more luxurious, larger, than can, fit passengers more comfortably, fit more cargo, and just be a more versatile vehicle. That's where this baby has to go. Even though, I have a huge sentimental attachment to it, this baby has to go. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. I'm not wording it right. It really doesn't have to, and I would be more than happy to continue to drive it. But I'm also kind of known as a car promiscuous. I can't really, I'm non-committal that way. I'm a bad bitch, non-committal. I can't really be tied down to one particular vehicle. I want something new. I want something different. This is where we're at right now. Right now, I'm bringing this vehicle. I'm bringing this Civic to the dealer, dropping it off, and picking up my brand new car. Well, brand new to me, definitely not brand new to everybody else or to this earth, but yeah, so that's where we're at. If you were to get a 2013 Civic Si, keep your windshield washer fluid topped up, shift smoothly, beat the snot out of the thing because it will take it, but beat the snot out of it responsibly and with the consideration for the Rev-Hang. Be smooth with the transmission. It will thank you in the long run, trust me. And the clutch, it will last you a lot longer than if you just bang gears every day.